I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to the regularly scheduled November meeting of the Patchogue Village Planning Board. We also have with us this evening members of the Architectural Review Board for one special joint hearing, which we will begin our evening with. Before we start, some quick housekeeping. I'll read the public safety message. The alarm system in this building consists of a loud ringing of bells. Should it go off, we should not assume for a moment that it's a prank or a false alarm. Very quietly and calmly remove ourselves from the building. We have the two exits to this side. The nearest exit is to the rear of the building. Of course, there's other ones in front. Do not attempt to go to your vehicles and drive away, as this could impede the progress of emergency vehicles. Merely stand off the side on the sidewalk. Once the building has been cleared for reoccupancy by the appropriate authorities, we will resume our meeting. Also, please know there is no smoking, either in Village Hall or anywhere on the premises around Village Hall. And please, for the courtesy of all who are here tonight, if you have a cell phone, make sure it's either turned off or on silence or on vibrate, so that does not interfere with the meeting. Before we even begin, happy Thanksgiving holiday to all those of you who are here tonight. We have a pretty decent-sized agenda for this evening. I should point out that my name is Kevin Weeks. I'm acting as chair this evening of the Planning Board in place of our chairman, John Rocco, who is home recuperating from illness. John's doing better. Please keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. We hope to see him back here in his chair very, very soon. We will begin the evening with a joint application. It's an adjourned hearing, and the reason we're doing that is because we have members of the Architectural Review Board here for that as well. It is the application of Family Dollar, 150 East Main Street, seeks permission to open a retail store and proposed interior renovations. Applicant is also seeking permission from the Architectural Review Board for exterior renovations, lighting, and approximately 27 feet 6 inch by 4 feet 5 inches of wall signage. The subject premises are located in the D3 business zone. Applicants for Family Dollar, representatives, please come forward at this time. For the record, we just met briefly with the applicants at our work session, so look forward to continuing that conversation. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Anthony Guardino. I'm a partner with the law firm of Farrell Fritz in Hopog, New York, representing the applicants before you tonight. We are here in connection with this application, which involves property located at 150 East Main Street, which is a Family Dollar proposed site, which is the former CVS discount store. I have with me tonight to either assist in the presentation or to answer questions that either the Planning Board or the Architectural Review Board have. Carrie Stoller, the owner's representative, Robert Gruber, the architect, who's standing to my right, and also Bill Hall, who's representative of Dollar Tree, which is the parent company of Family Dollar. I know that there were several meetings that were held, at least 2 meetings prior to my involvement in this. I know that presentations were made once, I believe, in October by Mr. Gruber. Then there was a presentation made in, or maybe September and then October by Family Dollar. So I'm not going to, re-present an application because I know you've heard it already. However, there were some changes that the owner has agreed to make to the application, and I'd like to call on Mr. Gruber to just explain to both boards what those changes are and provide the details.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Gruber.
Yeah, so I was out there a few weeks ago to inspect the building a little more thoroughly. We realized that the front of the building had an old Garden State face brick veneer on that had numerous cracks in it. But a few spots it was deteriorated pretty bad. And instead of tearing the face brick that we were originally going to do in front of the building, we decided to put a whole new thin brick system, much more advanced system, high-tech system. I have a sample of the brick veneer that we're planning on using with me. I can show See here with the architectural review board. This is, look like this brick veneer looks like real brick. I mean, it holds up very well. It's not like the Garden State face brick of old.
What is it called, like the color or the?
There's various different colors in here. It's made up of 3 different shades of brick.
It doesn't have like a name
Yes,
or
yeah,
a
these
number?
these are the names on the back of this.
Okay, so that's the exact sample you have.
This is the
I think
sample,
you use.
yes, that's correct.
And the old is coming on.
The old is coming, it's going to be stripped out, the masonry back that's there right now, and this will be added to it.
So the cracks that we saw, did that go back into the mason?
No, that's just
on
the face, that's just on the face. Structurally, the building is in very good shape, actually. There is some deterioration in some of the floor joists in the back of the building. And from the basement, that will be repaired and replaced or repaired.
And how is that affixed to the front of the building, Mr. Wood?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
How is that affixed to the front of the building?
There's a whole system that this comes with. It's installed. It's a Glengarry thin brick elite series support ledges panel that goes on the building first. And it's got a rain shield in it, behind it, and everything else. So it's made to withstand weather, freezing. It's made to last.
So it's quite impervious.
Yes, it is.
And this again is going to be put on the entire front elevation.
Entire front of the building, correct. Along with a new drive-in coping or cornice that'll go on the top, the decorative cornice. We have a detail on our elevation of it, along with a new aluminum cap that'll go on the top of it.
There's no need to replace any lintels or anything like that? That's all sound? at this
The
point?
lintels are sound, yes, they are. correct.
The lintels?
The lintels, over windows, yes. It's tough to see everything in there until, we remove things. Once things opened up, we see that there's something that's deteriorated. Of course, it will be replaced.
What about the rest of the front elevation, the doors, windows, what are the plans for that?
The storefront, the storefront is all going to be replaced with a new storefront. The anodized aluminum frames, 1-inch insulated glass. All new, the whole storefront. Everything on the front of the building will be
So you're
great.
replacing the windows?
Replacing the windows, replacing the entrance doors, the veneer on the front of it, and the coping.
So essentially a completely new storefront.
That's correct. That's correct.
So that was a big concern of ours because it was, very
Needed
run
some
down,
repair, yes.
probably from the original, like Kevin said, from.
Bygone days.
Bygone days, and it looks like it, and it needs the facelift.
Mr. Gruber, you mentioned in the work session about a roof.
Yeah, we have an entire new roof on our
Entire new
building. Yes. Yeah, the whole roof, the old roofing will be ripped off, the old roof on it. The building does have some leaks in it now, so it will be repaired.
And you mentioned some floor joists in the rear of the building. Are going to be
Floor
repaired
joists in
to
the rear of the
stabilize
building will be repaired, correct. And the building will be structurally sound.
that. You just want to address the side elevation and the rear elevation.
The side elevations right now are brick, actual full brick. It's not a thin brick in there, it's a full brick. There are some cracks in it in various places that will be repaired and pointed, seal up everything so there'll be no leaks or anything else in the building. And then the building will be painted. It's going to be a Sherwin-Williams Camelback paint, which is shown on our color elevations.
So an attempt will be made to pretty much try to match the storefront, so the entire building. Right now, I believe it's painted off-white or something like that.
That's correct.
Mr. Hall might be more qualified to answer this question. You stated that the rear door is now going to be used as an egress only. Is that going to be emergency egress, or is that going to be
Yes, that is going to be an emergency.
only egress? So
Yes.
there's no customer access.
That is correct. It's going to be locked from the inside, no access from the outside.
I
It defies
from
logic.
day one, I think I speak for most of the members of the board, we don't understand that because parking is limited in the front. I don't know how, I think it will impact your business not having a back door where people can come in and out because you can't park on Main Street. I know I sure as heck would not park in the back and walk all the way around. And if you have handicapped people, elderly people, which often do frequent the dollar stores, they can't get around.
Well, there's two things. 99.9% of our stores across the United States, okay, we don't have a rear entrance, okay? Secondly, it's a loss prevention issue. If you have two means of, entrances, it's a loss prevention, because if someone's looking here, somebody's going out the back.
Well, I don't want to beat this drum incessantly, because we've talked about this at all 3 meetings, but suffice to say, all of us, many of whom have lived here a long time, we always encourage our business owners to avail themselves of the rear entrances where they're available. Most municipal parking is in the rear of these buildings, and I can tell you, harkening back to the old days, as I mentioned in the work session when I shopped here with my dad, it's AMP, we always came in the rear. We never, ever walked around in front. But that's a business decision for you guys, and we certainly respect that, so I don't know if there's any need to.
Mr. Chairman,
But that is our, our advice to you moving forward. And obviously, as you move forward, you may see that there's a need to do that, but
that's
we
fine.
understand your positions.
Yeah, I just would like to point out, I mean, I think it's a little bit unique with this building in the sense that it's not a mid-block store. So it has, honestly, a very attractive alleyway that brings
Yes, it
people
does.
around. So it's not like it's mid-block where you really can't get around. It actually is very inviting to get people from the back to the front. So I think it's a little different
That's
than
about
some of the
it.
other stores, so
And we'll also probably be providing signage in the back, the parking area, directing the
Well, that'd be
customer
good.
flow to the front.
Mr. Gruber, you mentioned the interior. What are some of the plans for the interior of the building? Just like a major overall cleanup, or what does it need inside?
Yeah, the whole interior will look brand new. We do toilet rooms, add handicap accessible toilet rooms, new finishes, new ceilings, so it's going to look like a brand new store.
So those of us who have ventured into this building and, when CVS was running it, should expect if we go in after you guys are done, that it's gonna basically look like a new facility.
Yes, that's correct.
What is the roof, I'm sorry, the ceiling now, is it tin? Are they tin ceilings, do you remember? Are they- do you know, in other words, the ceilings inside, are they tin or are they just rocked and painted or plaster?
I believe it's.
If memory serves me, I think it's drop ceiling? Yeah, drop
I
ceiling.
just, if it was a tin ceiling, it would be nice to
Yeah, I don't
retain
know.
that.
It wasn't. The ceiling was there, I do remember seeing it, it was deteriorated, some leaks and.
Cracked.
years
Probably some
ago.
water
The ceiling
staining.
panels were missing and falling down.
Okay, I
So
was
it
just
really needs a
curious.
whole new ceiling.
On the plan, I see a notation for future wine case. Is there intention to sell wine in this establishment?
Was that a mistake?
I'm going to
You can take some stage if you want.
It's, if we're licensed, if we're licensed in the state of New York to sell beer and wine, I think they will do so.
Is that a common thing for your stores nationwide, or?
Yes, in the stores that we are licensed to do so, like in Virginia, in the convenience stores such as that, yes, we will do that. Florida is another example. Okay, so yes. And to answer your question, that was a tin ceiling, you are correct. So,
It's a tin ceiling, it would be nice to try
It
to.
says,
you know, that's a suggestion that I may make as far as to our architectural and engineering department down in Norfolk, Virginia, that we may want to think about keeping that. Keeping that for the flair. Okay.
ceiling.
All right, brand new ceiling, I'm sorry.
The awning on the back of the building, what's that going to be made of? Rear awning?
Probably just a regular type of, like a poly canvas. Okay, not just a pure canvas, but a poly canvas.
There's no proposal for any type of awning in the front of the building, just that one in the rear?
Yeah, just the rear, yes.
Some of these questions obviously cross the line between the RB and planning. Does anyone else on the planning board have a question right now, or should we turn it over to our friends from ARB and see what they have to? Karen, why don't you guys, Ms. Orzanon, what questions do you have at this time?
You mentioned maybe eventually putting back signage, just to let you know it's not on this night's application. Tonight's application will be approving the sign on the front of the building, so you would have to come back for that. We would encourage you putting the back sign, or even some kind of, maybe the logo on the awning or something at some point. That you'd have to come back with anything in the back.
Okay.
So let's talk about the front sign, because tell us a little bit what that's made of. And if it's lit from the back, or if you're having, it looks like it's probably a backlit sign, or LED.
It's, nowadays they use the LED.
LED.
Yeah, LED lights.
And
Will
what's
it
that?
on a timer?
Yes, it's on our energy management system.
And what is the store hours?
Anywhere between, we close probably anywhere between 8 and 9 o'clock, depending on the year.
And you open at 9?
Yes, 8 o'clock. We open it.
You open at 8. The colors are as presented in this for the signage of red and yellow, and then the logo in the middle.
That is correct.
Also, I know one of the suggestions we made last night is replacing the lights that are on the side of the building, but I see you're gonna be keeping those existing sconces.
Yes.
Are they in
Those-
decent shape, or the
Those
reason for it?
wall sconces are in very good shape, they look very nice. I believe the village installed those lights. I like that.
They do look like they go with the rest of the, what's in the village, so. But any of them are broken, that's gonna be repaired.
If anything needs to be repaired.
Do you have a sample of the paint color for the side elevation?
Same paint color. Don't have that now.
But it's sure.
It's very much like this color.
What's on the
Color on the
Yes,
elevation here.
yeah, Camelback.
Okay, Sherwin-Williams Camelback on there.
If you look at Sherwin-Williams, you'll actually see it.
What is the actual finish color of the aluminum storefront system? Is it brushed nickel? Is it bronze?
I'm sorry, the what?
The aluminum framing for the
It's-
storefront
It's
system?
clear anodized aluminum.
So it's like a brushed aluminum?
Yes, like a
Yeah.
brushed aluminum.
Yes, yes.
Just wondering. On the record.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Orzon. One question that I realized I was remiss not to ask, because I think we had a little bit of a conversation about this last month. What about the staffing? I seem to recall that the gentleman that were here last month indicated what we seem to think of was a paucity of staff at this storefront. What is your plans for the employees on this, at this site?
Typically, a store of this nature could go anywhere between 15 to 20.
Okay, good. 'Cause
Yeah, 15.
correct me if I'm wrong, did you say something about 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like-
That might have been a misinterpretation of during the course of one day, 2 to 3 people, but, a full staff, a full complement of staff, because obviously you're not going to need somebody, you're not going to need 5 people at 8 a.m. You may
Sure, I understand.
need that 5 people during, your peak
Peak
hours,
times.
so, but anywhere between, like I said, 15 to 20 people to.
Yeah, I know concerns were brought up by the fellows over here last month about what you talked about, loss of product, and they mentioned there might at times only be 2 people working in the store. It's a big store. It's a big floor plan there.
Now, I'm not gonna say that that's not the case. I mean, we could be having, but as I said, from 8 to 9, there may be 2 people working,
For open.
but there may not be a need for anybody, we have what we call par hours.
Sure.
Of what we pull from, so.
What about delivery times, delivery schedule? When do your trucks come and go? And will they be sitting outside with their engines running in the middle of the night waiting down the road?
You know, sir, I don't know that offhand for this particular area. They are cognizant of the delivery hours and any type of noise ordinance that there may be.
Well, there are also residences.
Yes, I noticed that, yeah. So, I mean, you're in very close proximity. I would have to say that they may make a delivery at 7 a.m., okay? But there will be, whenever there's a truck here to make a delivery, there will be somebody in the store to accept that delivery, so the trucks are not sitting there waiting for somebody to come to the store and just run it.
Tractor trailers and straight rigs.
Once again, I don't have that information, I don't know that information right now. I'm going to say, to be honest with you, is, you know, with that area back there, I don't think a tractor trailer can maneuver back there.
Tractor trailer will
Yeah,
not really-
exactly. So I think they're probably going to have to go with like a couple of pump trucks for, you know, a couple times a week to go back there.
Ms. Kennedy, you want to follow up with that question you had earlier? about the ceiling?
Yes, I have two questions. First, as Chairman Lee said, we were talking about the ceiling. It would be nice to maintain the history and keep that ceiling.
I have to say that I spoke out of turn. I mean, he, you know, he does have it on the plans that we are replacing the ceiling in there. So at this point, I have to defer to
Well, the ceiling is in very poor condition. It's fallen down at a number of spots.
I understand, but sometimes you can,
And then it's a patch job. It's,
Right.
you know, it's other areas, it's got rust on it, and it's it'd be very difficult to make it look good.
So you're looking at conventional drop ceiling in there?
Yes.
and what about the lighting in the front?
Lighting in the front, there is street lighting in front of us, there is no new lighting in front of us.
Just a sign.
Yeah, I would certainly be surprised at that. I would think you might want to put some kind of lighting in the front, on the front. So it's a decent, the storefront's a decent length. So you're relying basically just on the street lighting on Main Street and the back lighting on the sign.
If the street light went out, it took a couple days to get
Which
it
does happen.
replaced. You're-
Well, I mean, light does come through the windows in the store. And the store is lit, the light will come through the windows and light the sidewalk. Besides, you have street lighting out there, so it's,
Well, most of the buildings on Main Street do have an exterior light on the facade, front facade. So, I think it would be,
we could add, I mean, we could add lighting, if it's too dark, we could add lighting to it.
I'll throw that to the chairman. That's just my thoughts on it.
Ms. Orzon, does the ARB have a thought about lighting on the front of the building one way or the other?
Actually, we didn't think it was necessary with the light, with the sign being lit and the, street lighting. We have a lot of applications coming now with this new LED lighting, and then, and we're getting a little bit away from the, needed gooseneck. So we didn't think it was necessary on the front of the building.
Appreciate your input. You guys obviously have experience with this. Anybody else on the planning board have a question at this point in time? Ms. Orzon, is your board through with the questions you have for the time being? Would anyone from the public like to speak about this application at this time, either for it or against it? This will be your opportunity to speak. All right, seeing none, gentlemen, you may be seated. We appreciate all three of you for your time and your answers to all of our questions this evening. At this point in time, I would ask for a motion from the board to close the planning board's version of this public hearing.
So moved.
Moved moved and seconded. All those in favor? Any opposed? So carried. Ms. Orzon, would you guys like to take action on this at this time?
First, thank you, gentlemen, for taking our suggestions into consideration from the last meeting. So I'd like to make a motion for the ARB portion of this application, Family Dollar at 150 East Main Street, which will take into consideration, which will include the exterior renovations, the lighting, and the front elevation wall signage. So may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the application. Some of the new information that we have is that the whole exterior will be completely redone with a completely new storefront. There will be a brick veneer system. The coloring on that is going to be Camden, Folsom, and Cumberland, combination of bricks. There'll be a cornice on top and an aluminum cap. The windows will be a clear brushed anodized brushed aluminum. The side elevation is going to be painted and repaired, painted with Sherwin-Williams Camelback paint. And the sconces, the lighting on the side elevation, the sconces will be repaired as needed, but otherwise will remain the same. And on the signage on the front elevation is going to be as presented with the coloring of red and yellow with the logo in the center. And everything else as presented tonight and in the past.
Motion made by Member Beckerman, may I have a second? Second made by Member Mohini, all those in favor? Good luck.
You'll be hearing from the planning board. Our decision will be forthcoming very soon.
Terrific. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, all of you.
Good night.
Appreciate your time. At this time, the members of the architectural review